Boom, baby!
The Emperor's New Groove is the chaotic 2000s Disney film that gave us
Kronk.
What do you say, Kuzco?
Whoa, no touchy.
and a villain named Yzma, who's just unhinged.
Why do we even have that lever?
But here's the thing. Is this movie actually funny? Or are we all just brainwashed by nostalgia and memes? So let's head to Grandma's house, grab your cookies and Kool-Aid. We're gonna see if the groove still hits. Hello, hello, please come in. Make yourself comfortable. I'm your host, Isaac. Boom, baby.
And this is Seth. I'll turn him into a flea, a harmless little flea, and I'll put that flea in a box. And I'll put that box into another box. And then I'll mail that box to myself. And when it arrives, I'll smash it with the hammer.
Very nice. It's great to see you, Seth. I think everybody knows, but we got to say, what are we watching at Grandma's house today?
A little movie, The Emperor's New Groove.
Okay, so from here on out, this is your spoiler warning. So consider yourself warned if you have not seen this film. It was released back on December 15th, 2000. It had a budget of $100 million. The box office, $169.7 million. Looking around at some reviews, IMDb is at a 7.4 out of 10. Rotten Tomatoes, 86%. Letterboxd has a 3.9 out of 5. Currently, as of this recording, you can watch it for free on Disney+. It stars David Spade, John Goodman, Eartha Kitt, and Patrick Warburton, among others. It is in association with Walt Disney Pictures. Last but not least, we've got to hear from Grandma. So what is her rating?
Granny's family-friendly rating for The Emperor's New Groove is a B for cartoon violence.
Okay, and if you want to leave your thoughts, your rating, be sure you leave a comment down below while you're at it and hit that subscribe button if you don't mind. We appreciate each one of you out there. So let's start from the beginning. This is now 25 years old. So I've got to know, Seth, what's your first memories with this film?
So although I can't recall the first viewing, this is a family favorite, and I've seen it tons of times.
Very nice. I'm going to be honest. I'm going to make a confession here. I didn't hate this when it first came out, but I didn't enjoy it. I don't know what it was. I think looking back at the 90s, we were a little spoiled with Disney movies. Yeah.
How did we, Kronk?
Well, you got me. By all accounts, it doesn't make sense.
So at the time, I didn't hate it. I know a lot of people loved this when it came out. I was kind of like, it's okay. I mean, there's nothing much.
Don't know, don't care. How's that?
However, as the years went by, it seemed like the more I would revisit this movie, it just got better and better. It's one of those films looking back on. Rarely does that happen with me. I can't think of many films that as the years go by, I like it more and more. So that's kind of my first memories, but I remember it wasn't a big hit with Disney, but it was a big hit with the fans. People loved this movie. That's what I can recall. With that said, though, again, 25 years. Now we're coming back to it. I'm very interested. What was your expectations going back on the rewatch?
Honestly, just to sit back and enjoy this well-crafted movie.
All right. Like I said, each time I watch it, it just gets better and better. So I'm thinking to myself, is it going to be the best viewing I've had? That was my expectations. I didn't want to put them too high, but I figured I'm going to have a good time with this, especially with my kids as usual. Watching them laugh, there's so many jokes, and we're going to definitely get into that as we talk about it more. Well, before we get into our plot rewind, let's pause just a moment to hear from our sponsors. Hey, love movies as much as we do? Then bring the experience of the theater to your walls with movieposters.com. Whether you're into the classics, the blockbusters, or indie gems, they have something for every single film fanatic. As a listener of our podcast, you can save up to 15% on your order right now. Just use code Grandma's House at checkout. Head to movieposters.com and let's build your ultimate collection today. Since this is 25 years old, you know this was back on VHS, so let's do that. Let's take the VHS out of the cover, let's put it in the VCR, and press play.
The film centers on Kuzco, a young emperor. After firing Yzma, his advisor, she mistakenly turns him into a llama. With the help of a llama herder, Pacha, he tries to regain his throne. Settle in for another adventure.
This is, I have to say, the most unique Disney movie I've ever seen. That might be a hot take, but that's my first impressions. Who would have thought the premise of an emperor getting turned into a llama and teaches you these lessons of just becoming a better person? That's what always sticks out to me every time I watch this movie. Just like, who came up with this? But it works. There's just something about it that works. But let's start with you, though. What's your first impressions as you watch this film?
So what stood out to me right away was the humor. But the deeper you get into this story, the more complex and emotional it takes you. So it's definitely a ride, and it's got a lot of lessons and life morals for it. And just, like you said, a very interesting story.
Right. I mean, it's what is the nation called again? I'm blanking on it. It's just like a kind of like not a Persian. I know people are going to wreck me for not remembering it, but the timepiece, the location, and all of that's just unique. You don't see movies made with that theming. And I think it's like in name. And again, you can comment below and correct me. I know I'm getting it wrong, but just this empire. And it's this emperor that is a complete jerk. He's just full of himself. And I think going back to where I said I didn't really like this movie, another hot take. So don't hate me here because I know it'll maybe make you gasp. I wasn't a fan of David Spade. And
Whoa!
There it is. But here's the little asterisk. When I was growing up, I thought he was like his characters in real life. And he always plays that stuck up, just really snarky guy. And I just was like, this guy is just not a nice guy. Then years later, I see him in interviews and he just seems like the nicest guy, but he just plays that character so well. And maybe that goes back to why, as I see this movie, as the years go by, I appreciate it more and more because I just had the wrong vibe. I had the wrong connection at that moment. And I love that. I love that I can come back to something and appreciate it more when maybe I didn't really see the full picture. So I love that premise, though, of this character. He's an emperor and he's just the worst kind of emperor you can imagine, potentially just throwing old guys out the window because they throw off his groove and just putting people down, so condescending, putting a village out because it's going to be his like summer home. Just the list goes on and on of things he does, but it comes full circle. And of course, he's turned into a llama and by mistake, hilariously, and he has to make his way back. And it's that trip, that journey with the peasant. Pacho, is that his name? I'm butchering names, so correct me every time. Is that his name?
Pacha,
that's it. It's just a fun and satisfying story. I don't know. Is that how you feel about the story? What are your thoughts?
Yeah, I really don't really think about it that often, but yeah, it is satisfying. Yeah, because it is a full circle. You see him from his height to trying to regain his throne. And in between, he realizes he can't do everything on his own. So it's really a well-crafted story, like I said before.
Yeah. And he overcomes that. I mean, he's so like egotistical is also the thing. And it's not like a light switch. It's over time, the gradual kind acts that is shown to him, even in this llama form, that he starts to realize, I can actually make a difference for other people, not just myself. What always sticks out to me is that scene on the bridge where Pacha falls through and he's walking away to, I was just going to imprison you for life. He was acting like he changed. But then Pacha says, we shook on it. He actually stops, turns around and has to say, what's the line? You know the line.
The funny thing about shaking hands is you need hands.
Yes. That scene sticks out to me for that because he could have just walked on and be like, whatever, we shook on it. Yeah, I don't care. That's the type of character he was of like, I have to let you know how amazing and great I am. But that's what makes it satisfying is the full circle. I've talked about it at length. When you have a character arc that's well done where they progress and they grow, become better people, I'll eat it up. So I kind of touched on the characters a little bit. I want to open it up to you though, but like, what do you think of the characters? It can be any of them.
Just before I get to the characters, I wanted to say this. What may appear to be a simple straightforward story actually was quite a deep story about seeking power, friendship, and trust. And I know we kind of covered that, but it goes really, like, without letting you know it's going deep. It's like an extremely deep movie, and it's covered up by all the humor, which in every scene there's humor.
Yeah.
And so you might mistakenly think, oh, this is just a silly movie. Whereas like the actual point of the film is very, very deep. And I love that. I think that's, like I said, they wrote it so well.
Yeah. That's the thing. It's a kid's movie, but a lot of deep, again, lessons that you can take away from it. That's perfectly put. It's kind of dark at times. It's really deep, but the comedy does make up for it. It's not leaving you kind of like, oh, you can laugh about it. You know, you're like, oh, that's a good point or a good lesson, but it's also you're kind of laughing at the same time. It's rare when movies can do that right in front of you. So yeah, go back to characters. I'm interested to hear your take. What'd you think of the characters?
I love the characters. My favorite was Pacha. Next would be Kronk with Patrick Warburton. Kuzco is unbelievably funny. What stands out to me is the scene like where he's like when the camera focuses out on him, or it focuses it like, and he's trying to like navigate the narrator, like the narration of the movie. It's so cute and funny at the same time. And then all the supporting roles were great. I can't think of her name. Is it Wendy Mallet? What is her name? Wendy Pacha's wife. She's amazing in this movie.
Yeah. Yes. And I'll put a little brag. She reminds me a lot of my wife. She just no nonsense, and she's able to juggle kids and be pregnant while doing it. I've seen many memes. We've talked about, again, kind of at the beginning, this movie has so many memes, and a lot of people quote this movie. One meme I saw was, can we like acknowledge, Pacha's wife because she's pregnant and she's just taking nothing. She's just, yeah, whatever. She's not stressed out. She's just, so yeah, I'll throw that a little bit. Reminds me a lot of my wife, but I agree. She's a great character. I love her just banter with Yzma when they try to come and stop Kuzco and Pacha and all that. That whole scene is great with the kids. I love that. But there's so much to unpack. The big thing, again, you mentioned Kronk. He's kind of the scene stealer. Again, Patrick Warburton, you're going to recognize his voice. He's done so many different voice acting. And he can play the same character, but he doesn't. As odd as that sounds, I don't know if that even makes sense. It's that, oh yeah, it's this voice. But Kronk is just so unique and fun and plays this, he's dumb, but he means well. It's one of those, he's this henchman, for Yzma, and he just plays that. He's got so many quotes. I mean, he's obviously got the, all right, the poison for Kuzco, the poison chosen especially to kill Kuzco. Kuzco's poison. That poison. That's, I hear that all the time from once I quote this movie. And then when he's talking to the squirrel, that's just a awesome scene. I love that, squeak, 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 getting directions. I love that. Yeah. What else? It could be the characters, the quotes. What else did you want to touch on?
I love the, I think there's a callback to it in one of the scenes, but they say, could you describe this woman? And the guy goes, scared beyond all reason. I love that quote. Also, this is Yzma, the Emperor's advisor, living proof that dinosaurs once roamed the earth.
I appreciate just the David Spade, like you said, he narrates it kind of in a future self looking back. And it's that fourth wall breaking, that's what I think makes this comedy. It was kind of ahead of its time. You see a lot more of that fourth wall breaking, and not that this was the first that ever did it. It just wasn't as commonly done or done this well in that way. And David Spade, again, I give him so much credit. He's just perfect for this role. Like, I can't think of any other actor that could have pulled this off as well as he did. I love where there's a zoom up of Yzma's face. She's talking, and he's just like, look at those wrinkles. And what's in her teeth? And just the delivery of how David Spade does that, it fits that character so well. I love it. I love all of his lines. There's the close up of the just random shot. And this viewing, I don't know why I laughed really hard at it. I remember the scene, but it's like a chimp and a bug. And he's like, hey, what's with the chimp and the bug? Can we get back to me? And it was just so random. And it was poking fun at movies, just showing a random shot. I mean, it's great. It's like that kind of comedy.
My favorite Yzma line, I think the quote is when she gets turned into a cat and she goes, "Is that my voice? Is that my voice?"
Oh, it's great. Yeah, and she Eartha Kitt, I mean, she's a legendary voice too. They got such good voice acting, and we didn't even touch on John Goodman. John Goodman's been in so many. We've touched on like Monsters Inc. and he's done a lot of voiceover work when you think about it. I kind of forget about him in this movie, as crazy as that sounds, because he does a great job in this too, but he's just done so many works. It's like, oh yeah, that's so great. You think of David Spade, obviously, and Patrick Warburton, but I just can't go on enough. I can gush about this voice acting and the characters. I think, again, I go back to this just gradually gets better. It did this time. I'm going to kind of spoil a little bit. This was probably my best viewing. I laughed, and it was just hitting on what I needed at that time. Sometimes you just need a good laugh. So when I watched it, it was just like, yeah, this is what a movie does. It should entertain you. It should, if it's a comedy like this one, it's going to make you laugh. And it certainly does that. So I can't praise this enough. It's so, again, odd. You're trying to tell somebody like, oh yeah, what's The Emperor's New Groove about? Yeah, it's about this emperor that gets turned into a llama. And he's just this full of himself guy, but it's a great movie. Again, I can't get over that. But yeah, again, back to you. What else would you like to touch on?
I'm getting excited to do the fun facts, but if you've got anything else, I mean, go ahead and mention it.
I think we could go on about quotes. So the only other one maybe we're missing is, pull the lever, Kronk. Wrong lever. That's just absolute timeless.
Why
quote.
is that lever even here?
I mean, comment below. I mean, we're missing so many quotes. We could sit here all day. It's just a quotable movie. One of those, I would say, it's up there on the movies we considered on quotable movies. This just is chocked full of them. You pointed that out earlier. This has every single scene, something funny about it.
Yes.
I mean, we're missing so many. So we'd love to hear them. Be sure you comment below. But if you want to get to the fun facts, I'm excited to hear them too. So fire away.
All right. So for our fun facts, we'll bring it back to Patrick Warburton. He improvised the theme song that he hummed at the beginning of the movie. Disney had him legally sign all the rights over for the theme song for just humming it.
What?
So he didn't go out and sign, record contracts or whatever, I guess. I thought that was hysterical.
That gets funnier the more you think about it, because I'm imagining these executives going to Patrick Warburton, and he's just like, oh, you want me to sign that? Nah, no problem. I came up with that in my sleep. Yeah. Sign here. Sign here. All right. I'm just picturing that.
Why?
That's great. That's one of my favorite fun facts recently you've given. I don't know why. It's making me laugh. That's great.
All right. So 3 of the animals Kuzco is turned into, a llama, a parrot, and a whale, are seen as toys in the scene where he is as a baby. You remember that scene where he's a baby and he's playing with toys?
Yeah.
Those were the ones he was turned into in the movie.
That's a great touch. I love those. I didn't catch that. Wow. That went over my head. But I love those little multiple viewings. You probably should catch it, but I guess I just blinked and missed it.
So for any fans of our Uncle Seth's Corner, I mentioned that if we ever cover this in full length, I would tell the story of how this movie came about. So I'm going to do that really concisely here. So I won't take up too much time.
Oh, go
but
for it.
Originally, it was as a much deeper film called Kingdom of the Sun that told a much deeper story. With a great deal of the film completed, they tested it out at a screen test. It didn't go over well. They scrapped everything and started over. Now, the funny part is Sting had already written 6 original songs for the first film, and Owen Wilson was Pacha. They made it into a comedy, and the rest was history.
That's pretty interesting. And it's a documentary, you said, with Sting.
There is Sting's wife made a documentary on YouTube. You can watch it. It's in segments, so it's not a full movie. You have to watch it in segments because of legal rights, I guess. But I don't want to ruin anything with Disney. But anyway, yeah, there's a documentary about how the movie was originally made and how I guess pretty much all the staff was fired for some of the original film. And a lot of the staff that survived was wondering if they're going to be fired because they didn't like the story. It was way too dark and deep, and it didn't test well, and they just started from scratch. And so apparently a lot of the movie was done enough that they could screen it, which is saying something. So,
wow.
Yeah, it's just amazing that this was their second take on the movie, and they redid everything completely. The whole storyline's different. And yeah, it's one of the craziest stories I've ever heard.
That is just, in my mind, I'm picturing the ads. I remember the marketing behind this it's the funniest film since Aladdin. And that was Robin Williams in kind of the same comedy, just every scene. There was practically some kind of comedy to it. So you're saying it was going to be a lot darker, and they decided to change that.
Yeah, if I remember correctly, the main thrust of the film was that Kuzco and Pacha were brothers, and though they were trying to take over, one was trying to take over the other one's throne, apparently. And it was a much deeper story, a darker premise, and it just didn't test well.
Wow. Oh, and Owen Wilson's in it. I mean, just trying to picture that film. That sounds
John
like...
Goodman was not in the original. Yeah.
Well, they wanted it to be a lot more on the lighter side. John Goodman, somehow, he can play darker characters, but if you want a more happy, upbeat, I mean, he played that part again. I'll praise him and everyone else. They did great.
It turned out beautifully. I mean, I can't complain, although I'm a huge Owen Wilson fan. I was curious as to what the first film looked like, but not curious enough to, not love the movie that it came out. So,
yeah, I just think, man, they had to scrap. That had to cost so much money.
Oh, I forget what it is, but there's an estimation, of what they spent on the first one, and it's because what animated movies were like back then.
Yeah,
yeah.
Wow. That's a good one. That's a really that's a deep cut fun fact right there.
And I did it quickly. It's a long story.
That's great though. I love it.
Time for a fun fact trivia question. Are you ready?
I am ready. Let's see if I can keep this ball rolling.
I got a good feeling about this one.
Okay.
Okay. So do you remember the scene? So after Pacha's son says, "I don't believe you're really my great aunt," how many times does he say "great" afterwards? A 8, B 10, or C 12?
Let me visualize. That's the one quote I'm not gonna remember as well as the others. Now I'm wishing I did. Great. Sounds like 10. I'm gonna say 10.
Where you're gonna go with?
Yeah.
You're perfect this season.
Yes. I can't believe that. I don't want to say I did it, but I actually rewound to that scene and I counted it. Great.
So the hardest part about it is I watched it like 6 times. The hardest part is they interrupt it with the scene with Pacha and his wife.
Oh, okay.
And then they go back and he says, great aunt.
Oh, I can't believe I got that. All right. That's one of my favorite answers I got because I'm visualizing it and I thought, I'm probably off a few, but
that's awesome.
Yes. All right. Got it going perfect for season 4. I just hope I can keep this going. All right. I'm feeling great so far. But before we get to our reviews, let's take a look around, see what the internet, again, this is one of those films that has a lot of memes, has a lot of quotes, but as far as the movie, I'm really interested. So Seth, what kind of reviews you seen out there?
All right. Our first review was from Steve Pulaski. He said, puts many newcomers to shame, 8 out of 10.
Yeah, 8 out of 10. That's a pretty solid review there. So that's a good one.
It's saying that the old, like the 2000s Disney that movie was better than the current, is what he's saying. So
I agree with that. Yeah, I'll go with that.
our next is a repeat offender, but we haven't seen him in quite a while.
Oh,
Boba_Fett 1138 says, "Boom, baby, 9 out of 10."
that's a great way to summarize it. I love it. 9 out of 10, though. Very good rating.
And you'll love this one. And Smash Attack said, "Must see over and over again. 10 out of 10."
10 out of 10. Wow. I know people love this movie, so that's not surprising to see. But there you go. Is there any other reviews that you would like to share?
So we have a review from a friend of the podcast that sent in this review. It says, from Chase, "Emperor's New Groove has been one of my favorite Disney movies. In an era of dramatic and emotional Disney movies, Emperor's New Groove stands out as a lighthearted comedy with a moral lesson for all ages to learn. From flawed but charming characters to punchline after punchline, this movie is a classic and must watch for anyone who hasn't seen it. As my childhood favorite, it carries on an importance in my heart, and I hope it can in yours too."
Oh, very nice. Yeah. This is one that I know a lot of people I've talked to said very much they echo those sentiments of this was like a childhood movie. So that's awesome. That's great. But thank you so much, Chase, for writing and letting us know. And feel free to message us. We're going to be trying to put out movies that we're going to be considering. But even if it's movies we've covered already, feel free to message us. We'd love to give you guys a shout out. So thank you again so much for that, Chase. We'd love to hear memories like that. So cannot get enough of it. All right, let's get down to it. Let's hear our reviews now. So Seth, I'm going to start with you. How are you going to rate The Emperor's New Groove? Are you going to take it home? Are you going to watch it at Grandma's? Are you going to hide it in the attic?
So it was a cleverly written movie with great voiceovers telling a good lesson. I can rewatch this anytime. Therefore, I must take it home. And if there was a higher rating, I'd put it higher than that.
Wow. That might be like you take it home and you put it up on your mantle where you can see it.
Yeah.
That kind of thing. Okay. Wow.
Or you buy a poster or something.
There you go. From movieposters.com.
There
Do a
you
quick
go.
shout out. Yep. There you go. If you have a poster, I think that's you got to be on that level. So that's awesome. Well, I'll go back to again, when this first came out, it's not that I hated this movie. I enjoyed it. I just didn't appreciate it. And with that said, probably back then I would have it as a watch it at Grandma's and be like, yeah, that's pretty good. I'd go back to it. Today, it's a great time. It's just, what else can I say? It's got great characters. They just have this tone, I don't know how to describe it. It's just so fun. It's a fun movie. It's so unique. I go back to, again, who thought of this idea? Going back to, again, the thought was this was going to be darker. They scrapped it. Just hats off to them. Like, this was just wonderful stories you do not see anymore. It's like, that's too much of a risk anymore. Studios are like, no, we can't do that. We got to do this. It made me almost a bittersweet moment because I'm like, I miss movies like this. You're not going to see one like that. But thankfully we have this where we can go back and rewatch it, like you said, because yes, I'm going to take this home. I'm going to watch it over and over again. It is so much fun. It's just, you need a good laugh. Put it on. Even if you can quote this movie from start to finish, put it on. It's just one of those movies. You can have it on anytime. I completely underestimated this movie at the time. I will fully admit to that. And I'm glad to be wrong because, again, this is one of my favorite movies to put on if I need a good laugh and just kind of hang out with the kids because they adore this movie too. They laugh at all throughout. You can't go on enough how many quotes there are in this movie, and it's just a fun time. Well, there you go, folks. We have covered another movie. This is, I think, a fan favorite. So we're interested to hear your comments. Again, be sure to comment below your thoughts, your rating, quotes that you enjoy. We love to get that discussion going as well. Well, before we wrap up, Seth, why don't we tell the good people where they can find and connect with us?
You can find us on YouTube, TikTok, Facebook, and Instagram. Feel free to email us at movies@grandmashouse@gmail.com. We have an awesome newsletter, so check that out. Also, use code Grandma's House at checkout for up to 15% off at movieposters.com and smash it with a hammer.
Love it. Yes, be sure to check out our newsletter. That's where you'll be all up to date. We got so many goodies in there. We want to keep expanding out the goodies that you will get for free. One being you can win a free movie poster from movieposters.com. That is all you got to do is just be on the newsletter. You're automatically entered in. So it's so much fun. Be sure you don't miss out on the fun. Well, that's going to do it for our time at Grandma's house. But don't worry, we will be back soon. So in the meantime, remember to be kind and rewind. We'll see you next time.
Everybody.